back to a new episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to cover this week's topic because I feel like it's so huge on social media, and I really hope this is going to help you create that shareable content that can help grow your account, get you in front of new people, get inquiries. I really do feel like shareable content is the cornerstone on social media at the moment, and it is so key to your strategy. So hopefully everything I'm going to cover in this episode is really going to help you, and yeah, you can go on and implement it and see a real difference in your social media presences. So like I said, shareable content is so huge on social media at the moment, and I'd actually argue across every single platform. Not so long ago, Instagram said that sends, so shares, were a big or a key metric for our post performance, but I have personally seen it on all the other platforms as well. LinkedIn, my best performing post on LinkedIn, I've had the highest amount of repost. Coincidence? I don't think not. And with clients, with their Facebook accounts, we've seen that the posts that perform best have the highest number of shares. So shareable content it's such a universal thing across any platform that you are posting on social media, which again is why it's so important to nail it. And you know what, I'm really not surprised. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm not surprised that it's gone back to shareable content being so key, because if you think about the origins of social media, it wasn't created to be a business tool. It was created to be a place where you can share updates with friends, family, and that share word that I just use there is so huge. So when we think about the roots of social media, it makes complete sense that they are trying to lean more into that kind of shareable content and building those connections, because that was the whole point of social media in the first place. I thought for the first real chunk of this podcast episode, I'd cover the psychology of shareable content, because again, I think a lot of people just say, oh, you should create this shareable content, try this, but they don't actually explain the psychology so that you can then go and implement that psychology in new innovative ways yourself, besides obviously the ways I'm going to tell you. But the psychology of why someone would share something on social media, you've got a couple reasons, right? And I'll go on to a point in a minute, but this is why I really wanted to cover the reasons, because it is so key. So key to understand why on earth would someone share my post with someone else. People share, repost content to make themselves look better. We share stuff to help educate someone. And I'll give you an example. For example, I've had it in the past where bosses have sent me educational posts because they've seen it and they thought, oh, it'd be really good for Beth to know that. So you would share it with someone, more obviously in a business setting, to help educate them on something or an important matter as well. They would share it because it's funny, it's entertaining, it has humour behind it. How many times have you shared a video or a meme with a friend? Because it's funny, because it relates back to maybe an experience you've had together. So that is a super key one. It's relatable. Again, it kind of goes off the last one, but it's relatable to you and that person. Leads me on perfectly to the main point of this. How on earth do you create shareable content? Okay, the first one is play on all those reasons I've just listed to you. Play on all of them. For example, if your audience is a group of girls in their 20s, try and understand the reasons. They're probably going to be sharing stuff more for that funny, entertaining, relatable part with their friends. So play on that. Do funny memes, do funny trends, use relatable situations that they are then going to want to send on to their friends. Another example, which I did mention earlier briefly, is if you are, in the B2B space, or, you're on LinkedIn, for example. Obviously, the core of LinkedIn as a platform is very thought leadership. It's a bit more educational than the others because it's people go on for a professional purpose. But it's that situation that I said earlier. Make it educational so that bosses could share it with their team, or, vice versa. A really good thing to do on LinkedIn is use inspiration. Do a post around something that would inspire your target audience. So again, I've had it before. vice versa, like both ways. I've sent stuff to bosses before and been like, oh, this campaign looks sick, like why don't we try to do something like this? Or they've sent it to me and been like, oh, I love this idea, like can we do something with this? So try and like create content based on what you think is going to inspire them or going to spark ideas or make them gonna want to be like, oh my god, I really need to try that, that looks so cool. And then that leads me that leads me perfectly onto my next point, is when you are creating a post, before you hit publish, before you do anything with it, right, sit there and ask yourself, would my target audience share this? And I know it's not as simple as just like, yep, I'm in the head of a 50-year-old man and I can envision whether they'd share it. But I do feel like just stopping for a moment and really asking yourself, is this something that they're going to share? It's like a first checker point of, yeah, like checking yourself and checking the content and really like putting it up to that criteria. And just think like, would they, and think of all the different scenarios as well that they might share it. Like I said, you know, for the girls in their 20s, if you're looking at a thing going, would they share this? Go through that checklist of psychological reasons I've just told you. Would they share it because it's entertaining? No, yes. Would they share it because it's a relatable situation and they could send it to a friend? No, yes. And even if it just ticks one of those, it doesn't have to tick all of them, don't get me wrong, because obviously the posts like education, entertainment are wildly different, but as long as it hits one of them, you can say yes to one of those reasons. Like, yes, this post is something that 50-year-old men would share with their colleagues, then you can post it. And the third point, it might sound way too simple. You might literally be like, come on, Beth, like anyone can think of that. But you would be surprised how many people forget like this step. And all I'm going to say is do target audience research. That could be in multiple ways. If you know someone, you know, in your life or your business who would be the target audience, ask them the questions. Just be like, you know, why do you share stuff? Send them the content and be like, would you share this with anybody? Literally ask people firsthand, okay? Because that is the most valuable data you're going to get around shareable content. Like, that is the best thing you can do. If you've got that available to you, I'm not gonna lie, I'd say that you do that over anything else because it's giving you an answer straight there and then. And I'd actually say if you do have access to someone like that, build like a database of what posts they're saying. Yes, I would share that. No, I wouldn't share that. So obviously in time you wouldn't have to fully rely on them. But then you've got like a pool of data almost from your target audience around what content they are going to share from you and what they're not going to share from you. The other ways that you could do this if you don't necessarily know someone directly who fits your ICP is put like a little and I say survey, please don't go and do like 20 questions. Keep it very, very short, so obviously more people are more inclined to answer it. But literally do a survey. Go onto social media, you can use the poll function on LinkedIn and you can use it on the Instagram DMs as well. You could post a little survey link on your Instagram stories and you can do polls on your Instagram stories and literally just get that, ask them. Again, ask them directly, like what kind of content do you share with friends, family, colleagues? And you've got the answer that will literally guide everything you do. And what I would say for Instagram is obviously do it at a time where you've got loads of different kind of content that you're testing, but the poll could literally in the comment section be as simple as, would you share this with someone? Yes, no. Then you're not creating any friction to get that data. It's a real simple question. Imagine if you kind of say you had a month where you're testing loads of content, you had a couple times that people did answer it, and then at the end of that month you can literally like see all the data from the polls that will help inform what shareable content you do the next month. So take it back to basics, okay? You don't necessarily need all the fancy tools. Take it back to basics, take it back to your target audience and try and ask them. And then the last thing that I'm going to suggest that you can do is, again, a really simple one, but take a look at your analytics on social media platforms and see which posts that you've already done have generated the most shares. Simple as that. Literally put all of the ones that have generated the most shares into a database, a spreadsheet or something like that, and just use that data. Literally use it, and every single week, month, whatever frequency you want to do it, add more data in, evaluate, you know, what the top shared post has been that week or that month, and just use, like, it really is simple. Use the data, use people to help build out, like, what shareable content is working for you. I really hope that it's been useful. I hope you can take some stuff away from that. Hopefully there was a lot of like actionable tips that you can use at the end that will help you create that shareable content. If you have any suggestions, if you are really stuck on something with social media, personal branding, and you're like, oh my god, it'd be so useful for you to do an episode around this, please put it in the comments, DM me, get in touch, email it to me, and I will make sure that we do an episode around that, because as I will always say to you, I really want to make sure that these episodes are providing you with as much value as possible. They're helping empower you to ace your social media, ace your personal branding, so you can achieve your business goals and get the results that you know you can. So yeah, just please get in touch if you would like us to cover any topics in particular. But I really hope you have enjoyed this episode. I am going to leave it here. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, afternoon, whenever you are watching / listening to this, and I will see you in the next one.